Congratulations, Ronald. The announcement that you are the new country head for Grab Philippines was made earlier today. You must be elated, honored, perhaps even overwhelmed, but still ready to get to work. How does this make you all feel?
Actually, it's been pretty exciting. Surreal, if I use the word, right? There's so many things to do, especially with this platform. And so what I want to do is really just start to get moving.
Mm-hmm. Start to get moving. You took the helm of the Grab car business in 2018. So you expanded its reach from just 8 to over 200 cities and communities. 3 of those years, right smack in the middle of a life-altering event for this generation, the pandemic. Then you also played a crucial role in growing and Grab's driver and delivery fleets. And before Grab, 20 years of experience in the technology, management, consulting, telco, and transportation sectors. That's a mouthful. That's so
lot,
much in 26 years.
Yeah, I think I prefer to do a broad range of industries to learn as much as I can. I think here and globally. And in 2018, I decided to come home back to Philippines after a stint in Indonesia, and I ended up in Grab. Right? So it's been a while, 6 years since I've joined Grab.
Yeah, well, let's talk about growth within the Grab platform. Tell us how your background prepared you and gives you the right to lead Grab Philippines.
As a career preference, I preferred a broad range of industries to kind of help me learn as much as I can here and globally. And having, I think, the breadth of experience coming into Grab prepared me a bit for the kinds of challenges that we have. No? So mainly because when I joined, Grab was more or less one big industry, which is car. And I think now we're in like 7 or 8 kind of businesses, everything from food delivery, parcels, lending, ads, and all of these things, where you need that breadth of experience to appreciate the different things that Grab as a platform is doing.
Ronald, you might say, kasi that the appointment happened because your predecessor was promoted to the region. But I like to think of it this way, that you were in the right place at the right time and you're the right man for the job. So could this be like serendipity, a happy accident? Do you believe in that?
Yeah, I definitely believe in that. It was a chance to step up and do the work.
When you say it was a chance to step up and do the work, that's something that you really feel deep down inside, no?
Yes.
In other words, when you were told that, we're going to promote you to country head, there was no hesitation on your part.
Yeah. I felt that, if I took it on, I could help more with Grab's mission, to become a better platform for the country. And so I think that was my primary motivation to take the role, because after 6 years of having done, every little thing, setting up new businesses, it gave me a chance to push it further.
Yeah. And I like that, when I hear to help the country. Yeah. So it's not just business for you. It's not just making money, but it's really to help the country. But we'll go back to that in just a bit. Let's talk about this journey, Can you now say, wow, what a journey it has been from your first day on the job till today?
For sure, Pia. I think it's been an interesting, truly exhilarating journey. And I when I look back at 6 years, I look at, I think, 3 or 4 parang moments that I would say are exhilarating.
Mm-hmm.
So when I joined Grab in 2018, it was the week where we announced the merger with Uber.
Mm-hmm.
And so I came in. I had no idea, and then they told me, okay, you now have to bring in all the Uber drivers, right? It was Wednesday. Over the weekend, 35,000. You have 30 days to bring in 35,000 Uber drivers into the Grab platform, right? And I had no idea how to do this. But this was parang the time that we merged, and, it was truly chaotic, and we had to set up, random warehouses to bring in all of these drivers.
Mm-hmm.
And there would be thousands and thousands of them parang out in the street trying to get in, right? So that was one interesting journey for me.
Mm-hmm.
Parang right smack into a major change for Grab because Uber had merged with us.
Yeah.
That was the first one. The second one that I found memorable was 2 years to the day of that Uber merger. The government shut down Grab because of COVID in 2020. So we had all of transportation was stopped, if you recall
came
those
to a
days.
screeching halt. No?
Yeah, everything came from a screeching halt. Doesn't matter what kind of transport
Right.
company you were.
Right.
So Grab Car, which was our biggest business at that time, was basically shut down.
Mm.
And I remember worrying about and what they would do for the next X months while it was shut down. And this situation parang lasted us 6 months.
Mhm.
So I think the pandemic was, I think scary, I guess, in a way, because, well, you lost your entire business
Right.
overnight, no?
Scary pero teaching moment din, di ba?
Teaching moment. No? It taught you a lot about what you can and cannot do. And ultimately, in a way, what you can do to help, no?
Yeah.
And we needed to find a way to provide for them,
Yeah.
which we did, no? So I think that was one interesting moment.
Mm-hmm.
One thing we did, by the way, was, because for some reason, because of the pandemic, people wanted to get their food delivered.
Right.
So we moved all of these people driving cars into parang delivery so that they could parang earn a livelihood, no? And it was interesting because that was also the opportunity we used to grow our food business.
Mm-hmm.
So you lost your entire transport business, and then you gained another
Yeah. It
overnight.
it was like resurrecting and or evolving,
Yeah,
changing things
Yeah.
midstream,
correct.
and still surviving.
Correct. Within a week, we had to evolve into I would say, a food delivery business.
Mhm.
To help people, but also
Yeah.
because that was kind of the need at that time. No?
Right.
And this would happen for like 2 years, no? Before we finally kind of got
Right.
this transport service back.
Yeah.
No?
Oh.
So that was the second one. And then the third is, as we expanded out into the different cities, mostly after the pandemic, no? I think right now we're opening maybe 20 cities and municipalities every half. No? It's just parang enlightening to see, how you could create jobs in a community, in a city somewhere, no? And basically the local government and the people would welcome, technology-enabled services into their cities.
Yeah. Okay. So all these interesting moments that you talked about and how, no matter how difficult they were, but abang, like I was saying earlier, naging teaching moment, it became an opportunity for you to evolve. I mean, and it wasn't always pleasant. Kasi
No, for
it was
sure.
also, and I suppose you could say it was painful, especially nung pandemic, hindi ba? Pero those moments taught you something, and then that's what helped define the journey, the journey, the growth within Grab Philippines.
Yeah. I would say that resilience is kind of our trait. Not me, but I think Grab in general.
Yeah.
And we learn basically from kind of the challenges and mistakes we make. And we try to make it better.
Earlier, you talked about, day one of the job. That night, you had that dinner with Brian, and then you were told na, oh, okay, surprise, you have to do something. What your first feeling was it fear, trepidation, or it was more like, I'm so challenged by this, I'm going to do this?
No, it was more like, wow, this is interesting. This must be a big moment. Let's see what we could do, right? Even if I didn't know anything about, to be honest, I knew nothing about transport at that time. No?
Yeah.
But I think, so just as a side story, I came home because I thought Grab was interesting enough and we could help fix kind of or improve the transport system.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my main motivation for coming home. And I thought, okay, we're merging, we have more drivers. This should parang kind of help, hopefully, kind of the transport industry.
Okay, you mentioned transportation system, transport industry. We're going to tackle that in just a bit, when we talk about the challenges. But let's talk first about the first 100 days. Parang presidente sa Pilipinas, di ba? So the priorities in the first 100 days. Let's talk about mobility, yung Grab car business. How is it going to evolve?
Yeah. So I think, Pia, in the next 100 days, will involve the Christmas season for us. And typically for Grab, Christmas is the peak season.
Mm-hmm.
No? It happens every year. This is also the season where demand skyrockets. So for example, we're fairly reliable on our transport service right now. But by December, when demand is 3 to 4x, diba? then we'll have some issues, no, with consumers trying to book a ride, no. I think the first priority for me coming in is really, just get the plans for Christmas sorted out, because we know that there will be massive demand and influx for everything from delivery of food on Christmas Day to, grab car services at midnight of the 24th, no?
Right.
But I think this is where Grab is tested in the micro moments. No? You can be reliable for the 360 days in a year, and then you would have 5 days of a Christmas peak where everything just falls down because you couldn't serve. No? And we've seen this happen.
Yeah. Are you going to give us a sneak peek as to your plans for Christmas, or abangan na lang?
No, yes. So as always, when Christmas comes, we work primarily with our regulator, which is DOTR and LTFRB, at least on the transport side, to be able to get more supply. No? Because it always happens and we can predict it. But it takes 3-4 months of planning to bring parang new cars into the market because we need approvals to bring those cars. No? So fortunately, that has started. The first parang tranche of cars has been awarded, I think 5,000 cars. And hopefully by Christmas, this would be on the street. So that's one parang kind of goal that we set, no? Just get more supply.
Yeah. Another priority being a safe and reliable app, no? I mean, not just during the holiday season, prioritizing the safety of passenger.
So I think, Pia, the insight we have for passengers is, the people who take Grab car, about 60-65% of them would be female. And they actually take Grab at night. So I think for us, that is interesting because they feel that Grab is safer than other modes of transport. No? So I think it is in our best interest to protect kind of our passengers. And so we keep rolling out parang these new safety features. And I can mention a couple of safety features.
Yeah, please do.
The first safety feature is what we call driver selfie. Okay. And what that is every time the driver logs on the app, we take a picture of his face and we basically match it with the database so we know it's him. And why is that important? Because there were instances, long time ago where, drivers would give their app to someone else. And then you have some other random driver driving a car. So making sure that that trained driver is on that car is a priority.
Yeah. Okay. Meron din bang yung emergency SOS button, the fatigue nudge, real-time and overspeeding? Ano yun?
Yeah.
Kasama ba yun?
Madami yung features sa app. So I will give you an example of these features. So on the app, if the app detects that your driver is going the wrong way, it will pop all kinds of these alarms. So like, have something on your app that says, hey, what's happening to you? At the same time, it alerts our customer support that something that you are veering too far away from parang the app. So, I mean, these are examples of technology that parang we're using to protect kind of the passenger. And there's many of this, including, as you said, can the passenger just press a button and someone respond? So this is available now.
Okay. And we have no problems with the regulators for all these apps naman. Features.
Some of these features needed a discussion with our privacy commission. Especially specifically on items like consent. We are in discussions with them on these matters and then the future ones that we are parang rolling out.
Okay. Another priority of yours in the first 100 days would be shared prosperity. That's very interesting because what you're saying here is that this is not just a business for you, not just an opportunity to make money for yourself, for the company, for Grab Philippines, but for all partners, right?
Our job as a platform. So Grab is a platform, right? Or if I simplify the word, it's a marketplace, palengke, where, drivers come in, restaurants, passengers. So all of these different parang stakeholders are on our app, using our app to transact. No? So as we grow, it is a bit of our duty to make sure that all of these stakeholders are parang taken care of, that everyone wins. But at the same time, there is such a thing as balance. So I'll give you an example. If we bring fares too low, right, which is something I hear oftentimes from a lot of customers, then the driver is directly impacted because
Right.
majority of that fare is impacted.
In
Majority
other
of
words, lilit ang take-home pay niya.
liliit
right?
yung take
Yung
home.
kita niya.
So may balance yung platform. Hindi pwedeng pag nagtaas naman dito, kawawa naman yung customer. Di ba? And that's one side. So as we make as a platform and we make sure everyone prospers or wins on our platform, we need to do two things. The first is as we grow, we need to help enable everyone's growth. The second is we need to be able to balance these
Needs. No?
needs. No?
Does this fall under what you call partner welfare also?
Partner welfare falls as part of that, but it's also very specific to parang different stakeholders.
Oh.
For example, how do we take care of drivers? How do we take care of small restaurants? How do we take care of, for example, small cities and communities that we've rolled out to, I don't know, in North Luzon or in Mindanao? And there are different parang programs for these kinds of stakeholders. So.
When we talk about partner welfare, how do you ensure that they're socially protected, earnings, welfare-wise? When you say socially protected, what exactly do you mean by that?
As context, Pia, Grab drivers in general, on the average, earn what we call family wages. And when I say family wages, it's what's needed for a family of four to survive. In Metro Manila, that's something around 1,000 pesos. So we don't look at minimum wage. We look at wages that are necessary for a family to grow. So if we say as a goal, we need to make sure that our drivers earn family wages. That's the first goal.
Yeah.
So I think the word social protection means a lot of things. What we believe is, what does it mean for the driver? So iba yung definition niya of parang social protection.
So you're not just giving them employment, although employment might not be the right term because they're not employers, but you're not just giving them livelihood opportunity, you're also giving them an education, right?
Yeah. We are
About
starting on that path. No? So we have programs now that are parang wellness or financial stability that are helping them parang move into this direction.
Yeah. And by the way, yung family wage pala, that is what? 2 to 3 times more than what we know as a minimum wage.
In Manila, it's like 2x on the average.
2x. Okay.
It's different per city, by the way.
Yeah.
Like what you need in Bacolod will be different from what you need. So we calibrate to the city and the locality.
Itong partner welfare, the statement that was released earlier today about your appointment quotes you as saying, together we will further enhance the quality of life. And I like that because that sounds like a very honorable goal. So it's good to see that you're passionate about that. Why is that important, about enhancing the quality of life?
As I mentioned earlier, the first priority we had was really to create jobs and to be able to provide family wage. But sometimes money does not necessarily equate to a better quality of life. In fact, for some people, it could be worse because if they don't know how to use that money. So I think now that we are okay with creating livelihoods, providing ample earnings, we should probably do our next duty to help parang, drivers, etc., kind of learn to become better people, for lack of a better word.
Okay. Kanina nabanggit na the transportation system or a serious lack of it, no? Would you say it's both boon and bane for your business? We rely heavily on you because naihatid nyo, naitatawid nyo, di ba? Pero yun din yung nagiging problema nyo, no? And in a way, you feel like you're called to help solve the transportation problem.
Yeah, I think Pia, it's as you said, it may be a double-edged sword, no? So on one hand, no, because of imperfections in the transport system, people use Grab, no? Sometimes as a daily commute. Even if that is not what the service is intended for, no? Because they have nothing else to take.
All right.
So that's one side. It helps. Imperfections in the transport system bring up demand for Grab.
Yeah. Well, you fill that vacuum.
Because we're filling up that vacuum. But on the other hand, we also put cars on the road, no? To which some people may argue that we are causing traffic also. Diba? And I've looked at this in the past, no, and I've thought through this, and some of my realizations have come from certain stories. So a week ago, I was talking to a UP faculty, and he was saying, "Hey, congratulations, you're finally reliable." It's like, okay, thank you. And then he went on to say that he had 3 cars. One of them was for coding, and the 2 were what he was using every day. But now he's only using 1 car because he takes Grab 3 times a week. And by that example, I realized, okay, if I can make you sell your coding car, if I can make you get rid of 1 or 2 cars and make you keep 1 car, maybe we would have done our part to get some cars out of the road. So we recognize that we need to help. We need to do our share of parang helping traffic. That's one example. If we're really reliable, people might sell their parang secondary car. The other one that we have started to work on again is really, how do we put more people in the car? Because typically what people like to do is get in the car, one person go to point A to point B. And if you wanted to fix traffic, you would find a way to get people in a car.
Parang carpool.
Parang carpool. So we've just
Share.
launched a service called Share with Friends, where, with your Messenger, WhatsApp, etc., you send them a link of your ride. And what they do is they get into that ride. So I'll give you an example. Let's say we're going to ABS-CBN from here, and I booked that ride. And I have a friend who lives in Katipunan. That friend might opt to join you.
Yeah, parang daanan mo na lang ako.
Oo. Dadaanan nung, nung trip mo, yung kaibigan mo, para pumunta ka ABS.
Right? Okay.
Or example ko, because my daughter is 7. So, several classmates want to go to school, and they all live in the same place. So, the car will pass by, parang
school bus na rin.
Or reverse. From the school, it will parang deliver that car. So, technology allows parang, how do I call this? It's
technology allows common sense.
It does, but it also, it allows sharing.
Sharing, yeah.
Oo. And that's one thing we're big at, no? So, shared car rides, shared food orders. Parang dati kanya-kanya kayong order ng food. Kunwari tayo nandito ngayon. Ngayon, di na. Share. Sinong order Jollibee? Lahat tayo order. So, anyway, to recap, these things hopefully help alleviate traffic by putting more people in a car.
Yeah.
And being reliable enough for certain people to sell their coding vehicle.
Putting more people in a car, makes more sense, more common sense. You're all headed in the same direction anyway.
Correct.
Might as well just share the ride. Okay. Isa pa tong challenge, itong, how are you going to tackle affordability? Because sometimes there are complaints, di ba? Na parang, bakit naman ganyan? Ang taas-taas bigla, yung mga ganon. What are you gonna do?
So, affordability, I think, is a big push for us because we've heard this a lot from our customers. But as I said, we are a multi-sided platform. We have to take care of drivers.
Right.
So, if you bring fares too low,
kawawa ang driver.
Kawawa yung kabilang side. So, I'll give you an example. 2 years ago, when you ordered food, it was one rider going to a restaurant to get your food. Diba? And you paid, for example, you paid the driver 100 pesos for that. Today, if we find that there are 2 people ordering from the same restaurant, we batch that.
Okay.
We batch that, right? No? Which basically means 2 people will now just pay, for as an example, 50 pesos each. And the driver still gets 100 pesos. So, not much effort naman for the driver kasi nandun na siya.
Yeah.
Pero, it's now 2 people paying him as opposed to 1 person parang paying him. So, what that means is we're able to pay the driver same or even more while bringing down parang fees from a customer standpoint. And this is a parang Grab food example, no? Of how we try to bring down. On the car side, the way this works is, if you're willing to wait for your car, because if you want it now, then we have to match. But if you can wait, 15, 20, 30 minutes for that car, we can find a driver at a cheaper parang fare to take you to your site. But But having said that, I think it is big for us. You know? And just to mention, in the past 3 years, our transport services, for example, GrabCar, the fares have gone down 5 to 7% a year for the past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we're probably the only transport provider in the country, in the midst of inflation, bringing down parang fares to become more affordable. No?
Mm-hmm.
So we're about 20-25% cheaper than 2022, even from a car standpoint.
Okay. Competition, old and new competition. Just recently, 40 new players accredited, making the market more dynamic, I guess, for you, and a little bit more challenging.
Yeah. My personal view is I think it's good. One is, well, personally, I like a better challenge.
Yeah.
And two, I think it helps parang the industry. What we found is the more parang players come into a city, take a city, Iloilo, for example, diba? The market actually grows.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Initially, the thinking was, oh, a new player came in and we're going to decrease. Parang liliit tayo.
The
Yung bagong
business will
dumating.
shrink because of the new player.
Actually, in tech businesses such as ours, the market grows. So, for example, since we entered Iloilo, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, the food market has probably grown 3 to 4 times. So, if you total parang what, even with competition, the market parang grows. So, I think it's good because hopefully the new players will attract parang new market, new people into the market. But also, I think it's good for the customer.
And I guess you can also say, parang the hardest thing to do is to compete against yourself. I guess the question would be, how do I improve myself so that I'm still the preferred by the customer?
For sure.
Right? So in a way, it is a challenge, but a very good challenge.
You have to optimize in order to be able to meet the challenge. And I think this is something that we at Grab are fairly good at, no? In parang meeting the needs of people, no? As time goes.
A reality for Grab Philippines is syempre yung regulation, the regulatory agencies of government. How are you going to navigate the regulatory landscape in this country?
So we have some good history of working with the regulator over, from the pandemic all the way to today. We've collaborated a lot, for example, on supply to get better supply into the market. So I think collaboration is one key area that we have been good at, and for me, I intend to continue on that path.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, Pia, my personal vision for Grab, is something we've discussed earlier in during the many discussions we've had this afternoon. And so let me just summarize a few of the things that I mentioned there. I think there's several aspects of that vision. There's obviously a business and a social parang aspect. And so let me start with the social one, because I think that's parang the more important one. And the social one is encompassed by one word, shared, or 2 words for that matter, shared prosperity. So as we grow in Grab, we need to make sure that the different people or players in our platform, whether it's drivers, small merchants, small communities, cities, all parang grow and improve together with us.
Grow alongside you. Kumbaga, no one gets left behind.
Yeah, no one gets left behind.
Okay.
At this point, Pia, we are parang one of the biggest livelihood providers in the country. We've committed to create 500,000 livelihoods in 5 years. We're somewhere in the probably 200 to 250,000 after 2 years of parang launching that pledge. And so we continue to do this, not just for drivers, but for restaurants, etc., and everything else in the cities. I think that's the social parang vision. And then on the business side, I really believe that, as you get more parang, people on your platform, whether it's just drivers, passengers, eaters, and everyone else, the business just continues to grow and thrive. It's a byproduct of parang the help you provide.
Right.
So the more you help.
The help you provide, para kayong wingman.
Yeah.
Right?
So we're for lack of a better word, we're an enabler.
Enabler.
An enabler for example, near where I live, which is Maginhawa Street, they're all of these parang small restaurants. It's a foodie community.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not enough for them to get dine-in because there aren't that many people. But, if they're on Grab, then we can help add to their parang livelihoods. So that's us as a wingman or enabler to
for the SMEs.
for the
on
SMEs.
the small restaurants.
Yeah. So my specific focus is parang ultimately the micro entrepreneur, the drivers, the small merchants on our platform, because I think they are the ones that parang, let's say, need parang helping the most.
And that is your final goal. your vision. Ronald, Roda, thank you so much and congratulations again.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Pia, for the chat.
Yes, you're very welcome. Thank you.